Alright. Alright, America. I wasn't going to make any more videos, but then I just realized how can I talk about the Green New Deal and how can I talk about household appliances and what Inslee and Biden and Newsom are trying to do this whole train wreck this whole country. But let me just clarify because I can feel a rebuttal coming from the Democrats out there. You know, anybody who watches my video that's a Democrat will be like, well, what if we supplemented some energy with wind and solar for the power grid? Okay, well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about supplementation. Because who makes those parts for the windmills right now? Let's talk about control. Let's talk about control and supplementation of power, subsidization of power. We're gonna subsidize some power out to a wind company or a solar company that has a solar farm or a wind farm, right? It works in some states. It does supplement the power grid. That's fine. That's great. We haven't done nearly enough, a drop in the bucket compared to what we're going to need if you watch my first two videos and understand that that ain't going to do it. So let's just go into detail about now. If we turn on, let's be real. Let's be real here. Why do Republicans, so many Republicans, bitch and moan about Democrats and what they're trying to do, and me too, guilty as charged, because they're stupid. But why? Let's talk about Republicans. Why do Republicans want the pipeline on? Why do the Keystone Pipeline? Why do we want all pipelines lit up and on and processing methane from fracking and processing gas from the refineries and not selling our gas reserves to China? President Biden, that's the dumbest thing you've ever done besides opening the border. So yeah, 4 million illegal immigrants coming across the border that could be sex traffickers, rapists, terrorists, drug dealers. Just come on over. Have all kinds of shit shoved up their asses. Okay, I'm getting off track. They don't stay on point unless they have like solar batteries shoved up their ass, and then it makes sense why I'm talking about this right now. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about solar batteries. Where do those come from? Why does Elon Musk not want everyone to have an electric car right now? Oh, I know why. Because they're supplied by China. China supplies our solar power. There's a bunch of solar companies in China that popped up back in like 2010, 2008. Remember when our stock market crashed in China? China's market was exploding with business and commerce. And those solar powered companies that are in America, the solar farms, get some of their solar circuit boards and power and parts from China. Now, who else needs parts from China? Oh, that's right, wind farms. Windmills, generators, and parts inside the generators come from China. Do you see where this is going, folks? You see, where does the gas come from and the methane come from that powers up our appliances in our homes and powers up our main electrical panels in our homes and powers up our Teslas and powers up, where does all this power come from? Where does all this fossil fuel come from? Where does it currently come from? Where do we get our power from? Us. We make it. We get it from refineries. We get it from gas electric generators, and we get it from hydroelectric generators, and then a little bit, like maybe 10% is supplemented by windmill and solar, or not. I'm saying that wrong. The supplementation accounts for about 10% of our energy, so 90% comes from hydroelectric and fossil fuels. Okay, so I mean, if I was a Democrat and you handed me as an electrician, and or an HVAC company owner or anything else, and you handed me this pile of shit and said, hey, Mr. Osborne, can you fix this for us? We're too fucking stupid to live. Like, and I'd be like, no, bye. You're gonna be executed then. But so I'm not talking about killing innocent people here. I'm just saying that we're speaking hypothetically here, hypotheticals. Hypothetically, there won't be a revolution where there's a civil war and the Republican Party decides to just eliminate the problem. So, which we love guns and Violence. Oh, right. So we're such violent people. So all these hate crimes. What if we just turned that on the entire Democratic Party instead? You'd be fucked, right? So, but that's not what I'm talking about. I don't want to, commit hate crimes against anybody, even Democrats. I think that Democrats have their place in society. It's just not in leadership. So, like go join the workforce and do your jobs and shut the fuck up and just put gas in your cars for $2 a gallon and pay your power bills for $100 a month, or with the methane. But now it's going to be $400 a month, and now for those methane bills. What do you think Avista's going to do? What do you think the power company in the Northwest is going to do with this big ass monopoly that it has? What do you think will happen? Well, all these power companies, what do you think that they're going to do to people when you're desperate for power and your AC is running constantly during the summer, or you're on these hot summers, or your furnace is blasting during the winter on these winters, and disregard panel space completely, disregard the power grid completely. Let's look at wind and solar and power and China. This is all about control. And if China, which it will, I promise you, it will take Taiwan, easy peasy, baby. Their navy is as large as our West Coast Navy is right now. And they are going to surpass us in the size of our both East and West Coast Navy put together within the coming couple of years. It's going to happen. They have a surplus of resources, and they have a surplus of manpower, and intelligence. And so with that, and they have the factories. And we don't have as many factories here thanks to NAFTA and the Clintons, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what we don't have here right now. And then we have a bunch of stupid wind and solar bullshit that isn't really going to help us. Thank you, Obama. And so, an obsession with healthcare that was a stupid pipe dream, and now there's a bunch of windmills and solar panels that just don't get it done. And so when you eliminate methane, it's all about control. You have to use wind and solar, right? You're going to have to rely on electric cars. But Elon Musk doesn't even want to do this right now. He's like, that's not a good idea. That's my Dutch impression or whatever. But, I just, yeah. I mean, you can see where this is going, right? Like how many appliances in your house run on gas, and how many spaces. Go count your spaces in your panel. Go do math. Do you even math, Democrats? Go count your spaces in your panel and see how many electric appliances you could make, because you're going to have to convert every single gas appliance back to electric, which is most of those are 240. That's 2 breaker spaces you're going to need. So unless you're just twinning the crap out of everything and creating an unsafe environment on your bus bar with too many circuits running off the stupid thing, because think about it. Think about what people have done over the past 20 years. They've put in hot tubs. They've put in they put in welders, all kinds of shit that they're not going to be able to use anymore, because now they have to go power up their appliances with electric. And what happens during the summer and the winter? Well, Avista's already maxed out on power. You're going to get brownouts. Avista doesn't want brownouts. What does Avista do when they don't want brownouts? They start shutting down the power grid, and they did do it to us. They were doing what's called rolling blackouts the other summer. They did it in Texas, and they did it in Spokane because of climate conditions. And now, why were they doing that? It's not just the climate. Climate change, oh God. No, it's not. It's not climate change. You know what it is? It's called expansion. It's called there's too many people making babies and expanding. And I'm not saying we need to, be like China and kill the babies. I love babies. But we got to slow our roll here. We got to start using lots of condoms or birth control. We don't need to be doing abortions, but we could stop all these pregnancies from happening. We certainly don't need more people in the country right now, like 4 million illegal retards coming across the border. So how do we fix this? And I say they're retarded because they should look at where they're going first and go, wow, they actually have homeless people in every major city, and the works doesn't look, it looks highly competitive. I don't even speak English, or barely English. Like, I'm fact, I don't have an American degree. I'm fact, I shouldn't go here. Yeah, but I do anyway. So I don't know, that was my universal impression of not English. Yeah, so you guys just think about it. Just think about how much control do you want to give China over our parts, over our accessories, over everything. We already depend on them for all our microchips. Well, a lot of our microchips and silicone chips and semiconductors. You know, it's just, do you really want to give them more power over us? We'll depend on them for wind and solar, all that stuff. But methane and fossil fuel from North Dakota and from Texas, that could last us till 2060, man. 2060, baby. Like, we wouldn't have to worry about shit for 30 years. And then we could start planning so we could be ready for in the next 20 years, or well, maybe I didn't math that correctly, but whatever. Let's just say 30 in the next 10 years or whatever, like. But you know how America likes to procrastinate on shit. And I say, let's let it ride for 30 years, keep all the shit lit up, and then let's fix things in 10 years, and we're good to go. Yeah, right. But I mean, we just start working on it now, and we need that much time to fix everything. But it's going to take a lot of money, and you're hurting the economy. You're costing Americans all kinds of jobs by raising taxes, and people can't afford to live. They can't afford to work, and now you're going to take away their energy. It's a recipe for control and ruin and disaster and communism.